Hello and good morning, it's Phil Thatch, and right now I'm on the side of Highway 60 in Tennessee, and I'm on my way to Dayton to maybe do some bird photography. I don't know, maybe I'll do landscape photography. And virtually every time I drive down Highway 60, I see this tree that's behind me, and I think one of these mornings I'm going to stop and make a picture of that tree. And well, today was the day. So I put the Sigma 18 to 50 on my Sony a6700. I'm planning on shooting with the a6700, and I put the Sigma 18 to 50 on it and made a few shots of that beautiful tree that's alone in this field. The field is not level, has kind of a lean from left to right that I'm not sure I like, but as I travel down Highway 60, I always see this tree, and finally I have photographed it. Let's see if it turns out any good.
Okay, here is the photograph of the tree that I've been wanting to photograph for so long. This was with the Sigma 18 to 50 at 25 millimeters on the APS-C Sony a6700. This is handheld, 1/400th of a second. That lens is a continuous 2.8 lens, but I had this at f4.5 and ISO 100. I'm pretty happy with it. I was kind of hoping it would come out even better than this, but I'm pretty happy with it. I like the way the clouds looked this morning, and I like the morning light on the tree. I did not know there was a cross at the bottom of the tree, but I don't mind it in the shot. Kind of adds something to it, I think. And overall, pretty pleased with my decision to finally stop and photograph the tree.
So now I've made it to Dayton. I'm in the park at Dayton, and they're doing construction here. It's kind of ugly right now, but I'm sure when they get finished it'll be beautiful. And I've kind of driven around, spooked a great blue heron before I got a good composition of it twice, and that was kind of disappointing. But I came over to this little tree right outside the car here as a hawk flies by, and there were a bunch, like 3 tufted titmouse birds flying around in this tree and landing on various perches. Got a few shots of them. So far I've got a tree and some titmouse.
All right, the rest of the photos in this video will be bird photos, and I'm thrilled with the way the light was on this tufted titmouse there in the tree. Shot these right out of the car. I've switched over to the amazing Sony 200 to 600 zoom lens on the a6700, and this is 600 millimeters wide open at 6.3, 1/400th of a second, and the ISO was 400. Just love these beautiful tufted titmouse. Here's another tufted titmouse shot, same exact settings, 1/400th and ISO 400 at 600 millimeters f6.3. Same settings for this one as well, but I've up to ISO 640 instead of 400. This one has a different background. It's kind of a tree trunk in the background, and it's kind of a busy background, but otherwise I do like the way this shot looks. And this one is on that same perch. These two shots are on the same perch. Just love the kind of shaggy looking feathers here on the breast and belly of this beautiful tufted titmouse. This one's 800 ISO. Otherwise the settings are the same, 600 millimeters, f6.3, and 1/400th of a second. This is a little lower down on that same tree, ISO 1000 for this one, still at 600 millimeters, f6.3, and 1/400th of a second. And here's another one with the exact same settings as this previous one. Couple of shots in that same location. And the final tufted titmouse photograph of the video, I think this may be the 7th tufted titmouse photograph. Look at the amazing detail in this shot. Love the tufted titmouse, and this one is ISO 500, 600 millimeters, f6.3, and 1/400th of a second. My only complaint about this photo is I wish this vine was not blocking a little bit of the tail, and this little piece, I wish it wasn't blocking the bottom of the bird, because it's such a great detail shot. And I wouldn't mind if the bird was looking at me instead of looking up, but still pretty nice. And I always like it when the tuft on the tufted titmouse is up instead of laid back.
I finally bagged a great blue heron shot here at the water's edge. I'm standing where the water would be if the water was up, but the water's down for the winter. And right over here, this is where a little creek comes into the lake. So there's water right here, and then just a little ways out where it would normally be underwater, it's back above water, the dirt. And there was a great blue heron over there. There's still 2 great egret over there that I haven't got a shot of them, but the great blue heron did eventually leave. But I put the camera down as low as I could get it, and I turned the tilt screen up towards my face and just shot off the back screen with the camera as low as I could. I can't sit down on this because it's total mush, but I was able to get a pretty cool shot of the great blue heron. So I'll show that to you now.
Here is the great blue heron shot. In these pictures, I was working on pictures, you know, just taking some photographs of the great blue heron across over there on the semi-dry land with the water in the foreground. And it looked terrible until I got the camera down about, I don't know, maybe a foot above water level. And then suddenly it looked really, really cool. This is 535 millimeters, 1/640th, f6.3, and ISO 1250 of the great blue heron.
I worked on it a little bit longer, and I did finally manage to get a shot of the great egret over here with the camera low. It's really hard. I should have brought a tripod or maybe some sort of suit where I could just lay down on my belly and get these shots. But anyway, here's the great egret.
And a couple of low angle shots of the great egret in a very similar location to where the great heron was in the previous picture. This is 1/500th of a second, 600 millimeters, f6.3, and ISO 500 for this shot. And the same settings, except for the ISO has dropped to ISO 400 for this shot. I did crop this second shot a little bit more. You can see the bird's a little bit bigger in the frame on the second shot, but I like the way both of them look. And I like the bright white bird, although it's been hanging around in this muddy, dirty area, and some of its beautiful white feathers are kind of dirty. But it is a nice contrast, the bright white bird with the darkness of the rest of the surroundings.
I came over here to the boat ramp near where I've had some really good luck with red-winged blackbirds earlier this year. And just in these little bushes and trees outside the car, I found some song sparrows and made a few shots of them. Hopefully some are okay. Let's take a look.
Here's a song sparrow. I like the way this shot turned out. I wouldn't mind if the tail feathers weren't blocked, but it doesn't bother me much. The most important part, the eye, is a nice clear shot there. And this is 1/500th, 600 millimeters, wide open at 6.3, and ISO 1250. Here's another shot of the song sparrow in a little tree bush that was right next to the previous one. This is 600 millimeters, 1/500th, f6.3, and ISO 1000.
So now I'm at the Hiwassee Wildlife Refuge, and I'm in the part of it that will be closed. You can't come down here starting November 15th. I'm making this video on November 3rd. The sandhill cranes are not here yet, but by November 15th, this area will be full of sandhill cranes, and we'll work from the top of that hill doing sandhill crane photography. You'll see a lot of videos from here. But today I'm chasing various songbirds, and I think I've gotten a couple of warblers. I think they're palm warblers. I'll have to make 100% sure when I get home, but let's look at those.
I didn't document this bird because I wasn't 100% sure what it was or if I would even share it with you, but this is a swamp sparrow, which is a sparrow that I don't photograph very often. It's been a couple of years since I've photographed a swamp sparrow, but this was right by the water's edge, so that makes sense for this bird to be hanging out in this area. And this is 1/500th, 600 millimeters, f6.3, and ISO 1250 of the swamp sparrow. Here's a palm warbler. I made photographs of this palm warbler on several different perches, but I didn't like many of them at all. But on this perch, I was able to get 3 shots that I did like. And the first one is 600 millimeters, f6.3, 1/500th, and 500 ISO. And the second one is the exact same settings, just a slightly different head angle between these two. And then here is the final shot, another slightly different head angle, still the same settings, ISO 500, 1/500th of a second, 600 millimeters, and f6.3. 3 photographs of the beautiful palm warbler. at the Hiwassee Wildlife Refuge. That's the last photograph of the morning. After this, I went home and had some lunch with Heather. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, hit thumbs up. If you want to see some more stuff like this, subscribe and hit the bell. And as always, I sure hope to see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.